This review is made possible by Cadillac of Naperville. Come check out their brand new state-of-the-art showroom on Ogden Avenue in Naperville, Illinois.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2023 Cadillac Escalade V. Up front is a 6.2 liter supercharged V8, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Escalade V for plenty of reasons, but mainly the fact that it is a supercharged V8 SUV, and how can you not love that? But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradle.com, where you can buy stickers and other merchandise when it becomes available. You can also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you get a video of your car just like this one. And you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But before we get back to that supercharged V8, let's let it sing. So we're gonna put it into V mode. I'm gonna put the windows down. I don't really know how to prepare myself for this, so we're just gonna do it, I guess.
Oh my God.
Oh, one more time for the kids in back. How about that? Ah! Oh, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a 6.2 liter V8 that is supercharged, putting out 684 horsepower. That is a beautiful number, and it's a beautiful driving experience. You hear these almost gunshot-like backfires when you let off the gas. It's an insane experience. Does anyone need this? Absolutely not. But I am so happy that it exists. This is a monster of an SUV. Now, that engine setup is similar to the CT5V Blackwing. However, it actually gets a bigger supercharger and of course makes a lot more power. Helping out that engine is the 10-speed automatic that has been re-geared from the traditional Escalade. It has different gear ratios, make it a little bit poppier, a little bit zippier, and as you saw in the acceleration test, that absolutely comes through. Last but not least, the Escalade V is all-wheel drive, but we'll cut to an outside video of it because you just gotta hear and just enjoy the sounds of this automobile. Now, the actual driving experience, this thing is big. The Escalade is a very, very big chassis, but honestly, it doesn't feel ill-equipped like the Ram TRX did. When I floored the Ram TRX and you hear the supercharger, etc., it was like driving a Hellcat on stilts. It felt very unstable, but this actually feels very, very solid. I'm sure part of that is helped out by the V-tuned suspension. This does get special suspension for the Escalade V. And so I think they really nailed it. This is the first time Cadillac has ever offered the Escalade in the V trim level, which has always been their performance trim level. I think they hit the nail on the head, at least with the driving experience. But getting the driving experience out of the way, let's talk about the interior. So in front of me, I do have a digital gauge cluster. This is sort of a cornerstone of the new Escalades. Altogether, it's 38 inches long, but we'll talk about the infotainment off to the right a little bit later on. This gauge cluster is really customizable. It's 4K resolution. It has great colors, really deep accents in it, and that's what I love to see. I can also look at my AR camera, which is augmented reality, that can help out with navigation in real time. I also get night vision. Now, I can't show that here today because I only have the vehicle during the day, but it does have a night vision capabilities, and you could seek out how that works from another video. And overall, this really makes the interior of the Escalade V feel very modern, very fresh, and I think it's very up to date. The only thing I wish is that when you put it into V mode, there was a little bit more fanfare, a little bit more special, maybe a little V logo explodes across the screen, but I am not complaining by any stretch of the imagination. Off to the left, continuing on that screen, I do have a couple options for that night vision camera, heads-up display, things like that. I do get a heads-up display up above the gauge cluster showing on the windshield. Very, very bright, very easy to see on plenty of different colors and surfaces, which I like a lot. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my cruise control settings, pre-collision warning, as well as my heated steering wheel. And off to the right, I have volume, skip track, all of those bells and whistles. The overall look and feel of the steering wheel is nice. I have paddle shifters around the back. That is for the V, as well as I do get a V badge down at the bottom. Off to the left, I do have a climate control vent, as well as my mode button. So I have Tour, Sport, Snow and Ice, Tow Haul, and then my mode, this is interesting placement because all the other Cadillac vehicles actually have the drive modes in the center. Kind of interesting. I also have buttons to raise and lower the vehicle because this does have adjusting suspension, and I get a little V badge. And then I have my power parking brake and trailer brake adjustments, as well as my gauge dimmer switch. Moving on to the door, I do have heated and ventilated seat options, lock and unlock, then my power mirrors, power windows, and memory seat options. Moving into the center, that gauge cluster screen continues into the center. It looks like one giant piece, which I think is a cool look, but it is two separate screens. Wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, all of that stuff. The backup cameras are really, really cool because you do get a 360 view and you have so many different views to take a look at. And it will even do a 360 outside view where it sort of puts this animated Escalade. It looks like you're walking around the car, which is a pretty cool feature. And I've seen this in BMWs for a couple of years. It's nice to see Cadillac finally adapting this as well in a bunch of their cars. There's a couple other interesting things in the infotainment system like ambient lighting. You can also do a media recorder, which is basically a built-in dash cam. But what I really like about the infotainment is the fact that it's not the same as all the other Cadillacs, GMCs, Chevys that I've ever driven. This is the more traditional screen that you'll find in pretty much every single modern GM product. Well, now take a look at the Escalade screen. It's actually designed a little differently. I'm sure it shares code, whatever, that doesn't matter. But I like that it looks and feels special, especially coming from someone that drives so many GM cars. It's very nice. It feels very fresh for me. Down below that, you will also see the zebra wood trim, which comes in the V. This is shared with the Platinum, the zebra wood. Then I do get a single climate control vent and the climate controls themselves. Of course, dual zone, of course, auto climate. Anything you want the climate controls to do, this car will do for you. And I like how clean and simple this whole area is. Then we do have the auto holding brake, V mode, and lane keep assist. So auto hold and lane keep, pretty simple, but the V mode is very, very interesting. So this is your customized drive mode above just the regular My mode. So you can really do a deep dive onto engine sound, steering feel, throttle response, all of that stuff in the center screen. You can customize it to have your perfect V experience, and that is a really, really cool feature. Then we have the shifter itself. You'll find the shifter in pretty much every modern Cadillac product on sale today. Similarly, down below that, you have controls for the infotainment system. So you do have a physical volume knob, which is very nice, as well as a selector dial, all of those things. Then I have two USB ports off to the right, and then we do have cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Escalade V, and I am very happy to report that it does in fact pass. Then I do get a wireless phone charger, which is very nice, especially paired with that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto that is also wireless, so you don't have to have any cords mucking up the inside of your interior. That's a nice touch. Then I do get a giant center console, some USBs and things like that. Nothing too crazy in there. However, you can order these with a cooled center console that works almost like a refrigerator. So if you wanted to keep drinks cold or anything cold, I guess you could put it in the center console. This one just isn't optioned with that. The seats are nice and comfortable. I mean, they are great. They are heated, they are power, they are memory, they are ventilated, and they are massage. So in order to control the massage seats, there is a button off to the left, and for the passenger, it's off to the right. It's kind of hard to get used to because you can't really see the buttons, so you kind of have to go by feel, and obviously being in a new car, I don't know what to feel, what feels right, which way the arrows go. So it's a little bit of a learning curve. curve, but it's for massage seats. I mean, it's really champagne problems at this point, which is totally fine. Speaking of seats, however, we do have 2 more rows of seating, so let's go do some backseat reviews. All right, so we're in the back of the 2023 Cadillac Escalade V, and a bunch of things to note. First of all, obviously, knee room great, headroom great. No surprise there. I do have a bunch of amenities like vents in the ceiling. I do get 2 speakers up above me. That's part of the 36 speaker system found here in the Escalade. 36 speakers from AKG, which is absolutely amazing. I do have lock and unlock on the doors, another speaker on the doors. I have my own climate controls down in the middle, so I have my own heated seats, fan speed, temperature, where to send it, all of those things. I get 2 pop-out cup holders, and then I get 2 USB ports, 2 HDMI ports, and a wall outlet for whatever you want to plug in, which is absolutely fantastic to see so many different amenities in the back of the Escalade. However, the main talking point with this backseat area is these rear infotainment screens. They're absolutely awesome. I have apps for Hulu, YouTube, and YouTube Kids, as well as I have 2 different HDMI inputs. If you want to plug an Xbox in, you can plug it into the wall outlet, put in the HDMI. You can play Forza Horizon 5 while getting driven around, which is fantastic. The seats themselves are this really nice quilted leather. They're pretty comfortable for second row seats. Of course, the second row of seats is never going to be as comfortable as the front row. Speaking of seats, however, we do have a 3rd row of seats, so let's go hop in the very back. So now we're in the very 3rd row of the Escalade V, and there's a couple of things to note. First of all, sitting up as a normal adult, my left knee is touching the seat a little bit, but it can be moved forward, and I'm a full-size boy. I fit back here. That's a huge win in its own right. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is that up here there's a little microphone, and I'll see if you can hear it. That's actually playing through the speakers of the front. It's called conversation enhancement, and basically there's microphones back here as well as up in the front and vice versa. And so to help the driver hear people in the back and to have the people in the back hear the driver, which is a really cool system. A lot of vehicles are starting to do this now. The Honda Odyssey Elite that I drove last year did this, but it's standard on almost all Escalades minus the base model. So once you start going up the trim levels, you're gonna get this feature, which I think is a really, really nice one and a really overlooked one because it helps out so much. With all of that being said about in here, let's hop around the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the Escalade V here on the key fob, which they do match to the red calipers on the wheels. Love that they do. Hit it twice to put it up, or you can touch the Cadillac badge is actually to get it up. So this is my filming equipment, and as you can see, plenty of space back here. Now you can get the V in the ESV trim level, so you can have even more space. This is the minimum amount of space that you'll have in an Escalade V, which is still plenty. Over here, I also do have another wall outlet, which I love, and I do have power for the rear seats. So I can fold down the 2nd row of seats by the flip of a button, and then I can also lower the rear row and bring it back up, rising from the dead, which it does it very, very fast. Unlike BMW that takes forever, Cadillac does it really, really quick, and I love that. Overall, nothing too crazy beyond that stuff to report back here, but a very, very nice cargo space from the Cadillac Escalade V. Now we got to talk about the looks, and there's a couple of special V things that come with the looks. First of all, the front and rear bumpers have been changed a little bit to be a little bit more aggressive. It gets unique 22-inch wheels. It has, of course, a bunch of V-Series badging all over it. It has 6-piston Brembo front brakes with red calipers, of course, matched to the key as well. And like I said, it has that special suspension, so it's going to sit a little bit different than your regular Escalade. Overall, I think this thing looks absolutely menacing. It looks like it was carved out of obsidian, and it definitely drives that way too. So, with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think finally driving the Cadillac Escalade V from 2023? Well, I don't think that there's much that you can really dislike about this automobile. Is it loud and unnecessary? Of course, but it's fun. It's exhilarating. Did you see how maniacally I giggled on the acceleration test? I almost had an asthma attack from driving this car and just laughing at how insane and brutal it is. I drove a Cadillac CT6V Blackwing, and I didn't giggle almost at all. It was very plain, run-of-the-mill. It was normal. This is not. This lets you know that it's special. This one kicks you in the tush almost every time you drive it, and I love that sensation. Speaking of which, I mean, what, do you think I wasn't gonna do it again? Oh! I mean, come on! What are we doing here? This car is insane. It's absolutely insane, and I am so glad that Cadillac is building it. They're building something that's fun and interesting and really takes the fight to Dodge's Trackhawk. This is a worthy competitor of the Trackhawk. It gives the same sensations. It's big, it's large and in charge, and I love that about this. This car is exciting, it's new, it's interesting, and that's what I want when I'm looking for a new performance vehicle. I want it to be exciting. I want to wake up in the morning knowing that my drive to work is going to be maybe scary, but that's fun. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be in my face. And yet also, to be fair, putting it back into tour mode, driving it around normally, you still hear the exhaust a little bit, but it's not overbearing. First of all, I'm getting a massage. I'm driving it normally. You can hear my voice normally. You could have a very easy conversation in the car. It's going to be sublime. It's going to be luxurious, like Cadillacs are supposed to be. But when you want to turn it up, and let me tell you, you're going to want to turn it up every now and then, it turns into a Rottweiler and it bites your head off. And sometimes that's a very good feeling. Actually, most of the time, that's a very good feeling. I love this. I was really skeptical about the V for Cadillac. I was like, I don't know, what they're going to do with it. I thought maybe, okay, the supercharged V8, but maybe they didn't add too much after that. No, this is a very solid product, and I'm very happy to be behind the wheel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Max from Cadillac of Naperville for letting me take out the Cadillac Escalade V. We've been trying to do this video for so long. I am so glad to finally be able to bring it to you. Max is awesome. If you want to order one of these or talk about any other Cadillac product, Max is your guy to talk to. He's absolutely awesome to work with. He will find the right vehicle for you, whether it be the Escalade V or maybe a CT4 or CT5 or one of their other fantastic products. His information is found in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.